Today, I want to tell you a story that begins with silence, but ends with power. A story many societies try to hide, but one that deserves to be heard loudly. Imagine a young girl whose dreams were still forming, whose hands still held schoolbooks, not responsibilities meant for adulthood. Before she could understand who she was, a decision was made for her. She was forced into early marriage, not because she was ready, but because tradition, fear, and control spoke louder than her voice. At that moment, it looked like her future had been sealed. But here is the first hook of this story. What looked like an ending was only the beginning of her rise. She entered a life she did not choose, carrying expectations heavier than her age. She was told her purpose was obedience, her ambition was a threat, and her silence was her strength. Yet inside her, something refused to die. Every challenge she faced, every moment of being underestimated, slowly turned into fuel. While the world saw a young woman confined by circumstances, she quietly began to observe, to learn, and to prepare. She learned the power of patience. She learned how resilience grows in the darkest spaces. And most importantly, she learned that no one can truly own a determined mind. There were days when giving up felt easier than dreaming. Days when society reminded her of what she was supposed to be. But here is the second hook. She did not wait for permission to believe in herself. She started small, with ideas, skills, and an unshakable belief that her life could be more. She educated herself where formal education was denied. She turned limitations into lessons and pain into strategy. Step by step, she transformed survival into vision. As time passed, that vision turned into action. What began as a small effort became a growing venture. What began as doubt from others became curiosity, then respect. She faced failure, criticism, and fear, but she never let them define her. Instead, she used them as proof of progress. The girl who was once forced into a role became a woman who created opportunities, not just for herself, but for others. She built an empire not only of wealth, but of influence, dignity, and independence. She was still learning who she was when the world decided who she should belong to. At an age when dreams are meant to grow freely, her childhood was interrupted by responsibilities far heavier than her years. Forced into early marriage, she was expected to step into silence, obedience, and acceptance without question. Many believed this moment would define her entire life, that her identity would disappear behind duties she never chose. But here is the truth that often goes unnoticed. Even when childhood is taken away, the human spirit can remain unbroken. Beneath the weight of expectations, something powerful stayed alive within her, waiting for the right moment to rise. In those early days, her strength did not look dramatic or loud. It appeared in quiet endurance, in the way she observed the world around her, and in the way she refused to let hopelessness settle permanently in her heart. She listened, she learned, and she remembered every moment of being underestimated. While society focused on controlling her actions, it failed to control her thoughts. And that is the first turning point of every brave woman's story. When the mind remains free, the future remains possible. There were moments when she questioned her worth, moments when the loss of education and freedom felt unbearable. Yet even in those moments, she discovered an inner voice reminding her that her life was more than this chapter. This voice became her anchor. It whispered that pain could sharpen strength, that survival could become preparation. Every challenge she faced quietly built resilience. Every restriction taught her creativity. What others saw as weakness was, in reality, the foundation of her courage. As time passed, her spirit did not harden, it strengthened. She began to understand that endurance itself was a skill, and patience was a form of power. She learned to stand emotionally tall in situations meant to make her feel small. And here is the hook that defines her journey. The same circumstances designed to break her were shaping her into someone unshakable. Her childhood may have been taken, but her sense of self survived, guarded carefully through faith, focus, and inner resistance. This stage of her life did not create a victim, it created a warrior in silence. Long before success, recognition, or freedom arrived, she had already won the most important battle. She preserved her belief in herself. And in brave women's stories, that belief is always the first victory, because once a woman protects her spirit, no force in the world can permanently hold her down. When life tried to define her through pain, she made a quiet but powerful decision. She would not let suffering become her identity. With no formal roadmap and very little support, she began the most important journey of her life, the journey of believing in herself. This belief did not arrive suddenly or confidently. It grew slowly, shaped by hardship, strengthened by reflection, and fueled by the deep realization that no one else was coming to save her. And that realization, as difficult as it was, became her greatest source of power. She understood early that waiting for permission would keep her waiting forever. So she started where she was, with what she had. She observed people, listened carefully, and learned from every experience around her. Where education was denied, curiosity took its place. Where encouragement was absent, self-talk became her motivation. Each day, she trained her mind to see beyond her circumstances, reminding herself that her current situation was temporary, but her potential was permanent. This shift in mindset marked a turning point, because the moment a woman believes in her own worth, limitations begin to lose their authority. Pain became her teacher, not her enemy. Every disappointment taught her patience. Every rejection sharpened her focus. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" she began asking, "What is this teaching me?" That single change in perspective transformed obstacles into tools. She learned resilience not from comfort, but from constant challenge. And here is the hook that defines her transformation. She stopped trying to escape her pain and started using it as fuel for growth. There were moments of doubt, moments when fear tried to return and remind her of the past. But by then, her self-belief had roots. She had proven to herself again and again that she could endure, adapt, and move forward. Confidence slowly replaced fear, not because life became easier, but because she became stronger. She no longer saw herself as someone who had been wronged by fate, but as someone being prepared for responsibility, leadership, and impact. As a brave women's stories expert would tell you, this is where true empowerment begins. Not with resources, not with recognition, but with self-belief built in silence. She turned pain into purpose by refusing to let her past decide her future. In doing so, she reclaimed her identity, strengthened her voice, and laid the foundation for everything she would later build. Her journey forward did not begin with a grand opportunity or a dramatic breakthrough. It began quietly, almost invisibly, with small steps taken in a world that doubted her capacity to rise. With limited resources, little encouragement, and constant reminders of where society believed she belonged, she chose progress over perfection. This is where many brave women's stories are misunderstood, because strength at this stage does not look impressive. It looks like consistency when no one is watching and courage when failure feels inevitable. She started with what was within her reach, small efforts that carried big intention. Each attempt taught her something new, not only about work or strategy, but about herself. She learned how capable she was when she stopped comparing her beginning to someone else's middle. Mistakes became lessons, not labels. Setbacks became signals to adjust, not reasons to quit. And here is the hook that changes everything. She discovered that power is built through repetition, not luck. The voices of doubt never disappeared. Some questioned her ambition, others dismissed her ideas, and many expected her to return to silence. Instead of internalizing these doubts, she used them as motivation. Every time she was underestimated, she worked harder. Every time she was discouraged, she refined her focus. She understood that sustainable success is not about speed, but about endurance. While others looked for quick wins, she invested in long-term growth, knowing that empires are not rushed into existence. Progress came slowly, then steadily. Small wins built confidence. Confidence fueled bigger risks. With each step forward, her skills sharpened, her vision expanded, and her leadership began to take shape. She learned how to manage time, make decisions under pressure, and stand firm in moments of uncertainty. Most importantly, she learned to trust herself. That trust became her greatest asset, stronger than capital, stronger than connections. As a stories expert would emphasize, this phase separates dreams from reality. Many imagine success, but few commit to the discipline required to build it. She did. Through patience, resilience, and relentless effort, she transformed modest beginnings into meaningful impact. The woman once expected to remain small proved a powerful truth. When a woman commits to consistent action, even the smallest start can grow into unstoppable strength. Her journey was never just about personal success. It became a beacon for others who felt trapped by circumstances. What started as a struggle for freedom and self-determination evolved into a story of inspiration, proving that one woman's courage can ripple outward and transform lives. She understood that true power is not measured by wealth or recognition alone, but by the ability to lift others while rising herself. Here is the hook that makes her story unforgettable. She turned the limitations imposed on her into a roadmap for hope, showing that adversity does not just challenge a person, it can also teach them how to lead. Every step she took toward independence became a lesson for those who had been silenced. Women who once thought their dreams were impossible saw in her a mirror of possibility. She became a living example that the barriers placed by society, family, or circumstance are not insurmountable. Her story was not one of luck or coincidence. It was proof of what happens when determination meets vision. Each achievement she earned, no matter how small at first, sent a message. Resilience and self-belief are contagious, and they have the power to inspire entire communities. She also realized that leadership is most powerful when it is inclusive. She created opportunities, mentorship, and guidance for others who had been denied education, independence, or confidence. By sharing her experiences, she taught that success is amplified when it becomes a tool for empowerment. Her influence extended far beyond her personal accomplishments. She sparked a movement of courage, persistence, and hope. People began to see that the same struggles she faced could be overcome, not by chance, but by cultivating inner strength and refusing to accept limitation as destiny. In every brave woman's story, there comes a moment when personal triumph intersects with societal impact. She reached that moment not by waiting for recognition, but by living authentically, making bold choices, and demonstrating that a life once constrained can become a platform for transformation. The hook that resonates through her journey is clear. One woman who refuses to remain small can change not only her own story, but the narrative of countless others. Her legacy became a reminder that true empowerment multiplies, that courage inspires courage, and that when a woman rises, she lifts the world around her. Today, her story stands as a powerful reminder that beginnings do not decide endings. Early marriage tried to limit her future, but it could not limit her potential. She proved that strength is not loud at first. It grows quietly until the world has no choice but to listen. To every woman hearing this, especially those who feel trapped by circumstances, remember this: your story is not over. Your voice matters. Your dreams are valid. And even from the smallest, darkest place, it is possible to rise, rebuild, and create an empire of your own.